Yeah, hey Matt, how are you doing?
Hey, Shabam. Good.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. So it is like after so long we have talked, right? And since we have been talking about this project for quite a long time and were eager to release this, so I just wanted to ask like what actually inspired you to create this channel and what this channel is about. Like if you can give us the idea about that so we'll know.
Right. The channel Healthy Masculinity is basically for entertainment purposes only because I'm neither a therapist or a certified psychologist, neither am I a nutritionist nor a personal trainer. However, I have gone through quite a journey in self development. Grew up practically without a father. My dad had a stroke when I was 7 years old. Later on, I had a stepdad, but he passed away when I was 18. And I've been struggling with a lot of things from self confidence to anger issues. And I've spent more than 6 years in therapy. I also spent a lot of time trying to get fit, overcome anxiety. And because of who I am and how I've lived my life, I've spent the last 20 years searching for answers, reading a lot, researching, reading studies, and more importantly, trying everything out myself. So, this channel is aiming to support men or boys who want to develop themselves and just share with them my story, both my psychotherapeutic journey and my fitness journey, diet, nutrition, health and hormone optimization, and try to provide some guidance because I know that had I gotten that kind of guidance, let's say when I was 18, probably would have achieved way more and would have been quite happier.
Yeah.
And I
So
also think that, sorry,
yeah, so as a boy myself, I also like sometimes can relate with you on this part, right? That yeah,
I shared a lot with you because um, part of my homework in therapy was to do journaling. So I've spent the last couple of years just writing down things, and every single time I had a revelation and I wrote it down, I unlocked a lot of suppressed memories. Um, what triggered really the launch of the YouTube channel was a big milestone in my life. I had a couple. Last December, I had, I wouldn't say I've reached rock bottom, but I was in a tough situation, let's say that. I lost my mom to cancer in March. I was still mourning her. I ran into a wall at work. I could not achieve what I set out as a goal for myself. Goal setting is also something I want to talk about in later episodes, and I was quite disappointed about that. I failed twice on my advanced riding exam, and since I started martial arts, I wanted to not just better myself but also reach black belt. I was doing Kurai Fat Kempo and before that Kyokushin, later kickboxing, and then I went back home to Kyokushin, which was the first style I started on as a kid. So I also had a stage 4 osteoarthritis, which was extremely painful, and practically 5 days before my grading, I was told that in my current state, I shouldn't even attempt the grading. So I was in quite a bad place. My partner, I'm going to refer to her as Adam, not because I'm LGBTQ, but for a specific reason, she would find that funny. And I also want to uh, shield her identity. She was a dismissive avoidant. I'll talk about that and the research and everything I've done about attachment styles, and the work I've done on myself about overcoming anxiety and earning or achieving a secure attachment style. Anyway, I was in quite a bad mood. She cancelled on me last minute. Once again, I had my son with me. I was driving to the Sunday class in karate, and there's a main road there. From there, I wanted to turn right. Usually, from that side road, they don't stay in their lane. They position the car in a way that takes a little bit of space off the lane where I should turn into. Usually to sort of force you to give priority even when you have priority. Um, I decided to just try it anyway. I don't care. I can squeeze in. I will adapt. It didn't work, so I hit the pavement, not with a high speed, just a little bit. And it was a trigger. It was the last straw that broke the back of the camel. So I went in, I managed to park the car, but I broke down. I started crying. Now, mind you, and it's a very important detail, my son was sitting next to me. And obviously, he asked, like, what the hell is going on, right? So, couldn't hold back. I basically told him that I'm sick and tired of doing everything and trying to just force myself into a pretzel to make a relationship work, to be accepted and loved. And I'm still ignored, I'm still dismissed, I'm still disrespected. I'm sick and tired of people forcing priority, which that's why it sort of triggered this whole response. I'm afraid of getting fat again. I'm afraid of the surgery that was coming up. I'm sick and tired of putting in all this work and the last minute I fail again in karate, which is a big coping mechanism for me. It doesn't matter how much pain I'm going through, how much I work on my mobility, how much I put in to learn the syllabus, to just ignore the pain, and it is still not enough. Um, and I feel like it doesn't matter what I do, there's something wrong with me, and I just can't. I don't deserve love, and I don't deserve anything. And my son started crying and sort of comforting me, saying that, Daddy, you won't be fat. I'm here for you. I love you. But at that moment, I realized that, not deliberately doing that, I was emotionally abusing my son because I think in psychology it's called parentification, which basically means that you should leave your kids to be kids. But because I opened up and I could not hold back, I was so dysregulated. I put himself in a situation that he felt the urge to be my confidant, to support me, to help me emotionally, and that could send him to a psychologist later on in life. Not one event, but if it's going on. So my superego or sense of duty took over. I just suppressed back all this depression, hurt, and everything. And I was like, you have to pull it together. But I decided that something has to change because I can't go on like that. My son shouldn't pay the price for my failures, for my being dysregulated. So then I was like, that is going to be okay. It was just too much. I love you. Doesn't matter. I managed to calm him down, went to karate. And at that day, I decided to break up with my dismissive, avoidant, now ex-girlfriend. It took me a couple of days to write down everything, to run all the scenarios and scripts. Um, did it. And after that, I was absolutely on my own because I took some time off for Christmas. Um, and my ex-wife and my son, they flew away for Christmas with my ex-in-laws. I was with my dog Jimmy, and I was going to the gym, but I was really had a lot of time to just think and be with myself. And for some reason, I was calm. Started after the breakup, I just started processing it, and that was sort of the first time I really stood up for myself emotionally. I always had a hard time. I never had an issue holding boundaries with in a professional capacity, but I was always struggling to hold boundaries and stand up for my own self-interest in my private life. I don't want to share too many details just yet because I want to make it interesting, and I also want to create sort of like a framework with these episodes, and recreate how I put all the puzzles together through therapy and understand what was going on behind the scenes. Um, Back then, I still did not think about sharing all of this in a YouTube channel. But one thing kicked in from therapy, which also helped me stop crying back then. I got a homework, and that was I had to every single morning do stretching, a little bit of breath work, and repeat the sentence, "You don't need pain to be happy." And that kicked in, and that was the final decision why I broke up with Adam. Anyway, fast forward to Christmas time. Of course, it was miserable weather. I was calm, I was journaling, I was writing things down. I spent a lot of time with myself, and I was calm. It was a quite miserable, typical British winter day. I wasn't listening to music. I went to the forest with Jimmy, my dog. And as I was walking, um, and I was trying to think about my childhood and connect with my inner child, I unlocked a very, very painful memory. I'm not just yet ready to share what that memory was. Maybe I will uh, in the next episode. I'm just not ready yet. But I'm happy to tell you how I felt. So it was raining, it was cold, miserable. I was hurt a lot, but that didn't really matter. The memory I unlocked was so painful that I started growling like an animal, crying at the same time. I wanted to just peel down my skin and then retreat to a cave. I was shaking. My poor dog, Jimmy, he started running around me and extremely alert and heightened senses, trying to locate like where the danger is coming from, what the hell am I reacting to. And that was just a memory. It took me a couple of minutes, I don't know how much time. Thank God that it was such a miserable weather that nobody was around us. But once I managed to calm myself down, I was just standing there, and I visualized, almost like a hallucination, a little child, half naked, squatting down, um, holding his little arms up like this to protect his head, crying and saying that you all left me, everyone is going to just hurt me, I'm on my own, and nobody loves me. And that child really reminded me of Marky, um, and probably myself. So I instinctively stepped forward and imagined just picking him up, hugging him. And I said these words out loud: I love you. I'm here for you, and I will never, ever leave you. And little did I realize that that was, I was saying this to myself, to the little child in me. And I could act as a good father because, with all my mistakes and faults, I tend to think that I am a good father. And at that point in time, I felt like, and again, I wasn't on psychedelics or anything like that. I felt like as if the little child hugged me back, turned into a bright light, and this light came into my solar plexus, and I felt warmth. And later on, I started reading a very interesting book called Homecoming, and I also discussed this with my therapist, and uh, she said that I instinctively did something really powerful, but that moment changed my life to the extent that since then I'm happy. I have self confidence. I live life to the fullest. I'm no longer scared. I'm happy to be alone. I always had that inner voice in me when I was rejected or I felt abandoned, and I broke down and started crying and was saying things like, how could you expect anyone to love and accept you when you were not even good enough for your own mother? Since I had that moment and to some extent adopted my own inner child and started working with him, I'm a totally different man. And that transformation is so healing, it is so amazing and joyful that I decided that I'm going to start a YouTube channel, tell my story, and I'm sure there are lots of other men struggling with issues from their childhood, struggling with anger, struggling with feeling like a reactive dog, struggling with fear, trying to recover from physical abuse, from divorce, from mental abuse, feeling like a failure, and I want to help them.
That's really nice of you to actually like think about this and like starting this channel for such a nice thing, right? I hope like a lot of us will actually relate to you and hear you out.
It's if I want to be very sarcastic, my after breaking up with Adam, my dismissive avoidant ex, she called me a narcissist. So if we entertain that thought a little bit, this channel is also self-serving because there's only two ways how this can go out. I can either receive hate, but hate is cheer for the heel, so that's a good narcissistic supply for me anyway. Or I could receive some support and love, which is an also high quality narcissistic supply. So if I entertain the thought and I am a narcissist, then I am trying to be a better narcissist.
That was funny, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Wish you all the luck and like I hope
Thanks,
things goes
Sean.
well only.
Before we leave, I just wanted to thank you because we were working together at a not so nice company, but um, you you became my friend there, and it's just, we can call it fate, but we stayed in touch years after that, and I would not have been able to do this without your help, and I really do appreciate it.
I love to be there for you, Martin. Since you were
Thanks.
there when I was working, and now, yeah, always with you. I'll just
I
stop.
know.
And for any day that steams, to better days it brings. Nothing is as bad as it seems. Close your